You're all very, you're all very welcome to these last 2 days. And well, also we do have Francis Fitzgerald, the former Taoiseach and MEP, in conversation with Ellen on Saturday. So I do hope you can make that. She's terrific and had experience as Taoiseach, Minister of Justice, various other ministries, and then played a lead role as in the MEP as a European member of Parliament. So I think her perspective on women and power in discussion with Ellen should be really interesting on Saturday. But let us take stock of the ground that we have covered. And in a way, one of the hypotheses or a guidepost that we were working with was Mary Beard suggestion that it's not about she wrote a book under the heading Women and Power, and one of her main arguments was how deeply rooted the misogyny was, going right back to Telemachus and Penelope in the Odyssey. But she basically says it's not about women situating themselves within the patriarchal power structure. It's about re-envisaging how power is imagined. And I think that's been a provocative line that we've been endeavoring to think about and used as an opportunity during this program. But we also had the benefit of Karina's wonderful retellings of these significant figures in the Irish myths as a narrative or story basis with which to explore the idea of women and power. And we began about 10 or 12 weeks ago with the story of Cessa. And I think what's absolutely remarkable there in relation to that story of the first woman in the mythic history to arrive in Ireland is she is a not chosen. She's a rejected woman, and rejected meant thrown out of the family to what at the time would have been a certain death. And what she does, or rather doesn't do, is she does not play the role of the victim, which is a compelling role to play. It's actually can be collectively very attractive. A whole people can play, oh, we are the victim. But Cessa does not go down that route, and she takes matters into her own hands and makes very creative use of the state of rejection, and in a way sets off on this journey to start again. So I think that's one very powerful, therefore, is the way that this first lady, in terms of the mythic history, deals with crisis, rejection, failure, being an outcast, and in a way makes a world for herself and her people in Ireland by building the arks, taking a new icon, and heading off. We then looked at Bridget, and she is a remarkable woman who straddles both the pagan and the Christian. And she, from an elemental point of view, combines both fire and water, which is a very interesting combination elementally. And she also is a triple goddess, and her gifts are poetry, craft, and healing. And this multi-talented woman is reflective of a whole body of stories that we were describing as a very different response from the Hebrew response, which is a sacrifice mythology, whereas hers is a mercy mythology and a compassionate mythology. So I think that is another very interesting angle. Delgnat, then, the Partholonian wife of Partholon, we looked at in the context of a legal system that gave primacy to the woman's rights and needs. We then had Midr and Aidin and Fumnuk, and we looked at how the behavior of the jealous Fumnuk when Mida brings an otherworld beauty back as a lover, how easily it is to label the behavior of Fumnuk as a bitch or dysfunctional or whatever. But the way Karina tells the story, you really brilliantly get into the mind of the rejected one again in Fumnuk. We then looked at Neve Quinor and Sive, and particularly Neve, who enchants Finn's son Oshin off to Tir na Og. And in doing that, as she rides her horses across Loch Gur to an other world, we saw this journey to paradise is not it holds a big hold in the Irish imagination, but you kind of learn that paradise ultimately is boring. And Finn's son Oshin endeavors to come back. So the otherworld woman is a theme in both her and Sai, Finn's wife, and that ability to craft other worlds as a feminine quality. Grania, too, in Standing Up in Diarmid and Grania, we covered. And Grania heads off with her lover having Diarmid having placed Gassa on him, and I think she gets to Kesh Coran and is woman as a world maker, as she uses her gifts and her skills and a considerable personality to get her dithering husband Diarmid to consummate the relationship, and they end up living a very successful life in Kesh Coran until the fates catch up with them. And then we looked at the mothers of the heroes, Acton and Masbukala. And in particular, Acton is very interesting because of her close association with Cormac, and in a way, his mother as kingmaker, and it's exactly the same with Masbukala.